What's going on? What's going on? My name is John Ting, immigration lawyer here in the United States, specifically Houston, Texas, here to solve your immigration problem. And today's topic is what happens after I get my conditional resident status? You think you might be getting the home run and go straight to citizenship. It's possible, but in fact, there's several steps before you get to that point. And I'd like to also share those, I wouldn't say mistakes, but there's some hiccups along the way, some obstacles, and to really share the expectation of what happens because some people forget to do what you have to do, and then that is to remove the conditions. It's an extra step. But let me take a step back here. Okay, folks, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting, and I'm here to solve your immigration problem by just sharing information. Okay, it's free. All right. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it. Drop it in the comment section. And you're welcome. We offer this to all our followers. So thank you so much. It's a free 15-minute consultation, but it's not guaranteed. Okay. Just to be honest, it used to be that way where we talk to literally everyone, but you can talk to our CARES team. They're not lawyers, but they can share some information. Because we like the lawyers share information, free guides, so that our CARES team can give that to you, a link to it. And it has common questions and answers. I'm going to share it on our YouTube and Facebook page right now to give you an idea what it looks like. Okay, so check it out right there. Go to greencardguys.com and scroll down. Eventually, we're going to have a page that has all our free guides, but right now it only has like about family pathway, mandamus for lawsuits if you have received a case delay, or not received, but suffering through a freaking long case processing, which is probably a lot of people, unfortunately, and for investor visas and employment based. So a lot of different things, but we're gonna have a page more about like also eventually what to do to maintain your status, because that's a common thing, unfortunately, with the pandemic and post-pandemic, that people are waiting abroad a long time. So anyway, if you get value from anything I share, I greatly appreciate it. That if you can smash the hearts and hit the like button and share a video, we greatly appreciate it. So on to the main stuff, okay, about today's topic. What happens? Well, sorry, taking another step back. How do you even get the conditional resident status? You might, well, does it even matter to me, John? And the thing is that it might not even matter. So if this topic's not for you, that's cool. But for those that have this status, it's a 2-year card, okay? Conditional resident status. And typically, this is for 2 scenarios. The most common one is if you marry a U.S. citizen. The other situation where you have a conditional resident status is when you spend a lot of money. No, not for marriage, but when you spend a lot of money for something called EB-5 investor visa, which is minimum $800,000. So you get the money for the green card, more power to you. But I really think there's other ways to get status than other than through this EB-5 program. I think they just made it ridiculous and really expensive, essentially buying your way to get a green card. Some of y'all folks might be able to afford it, but many of you don't, and that's cool. That's why I'm here to share other options. But today's topic is what happens after I get my conditional resident status. Again, the most common way is because if you get married to a U.S. citizen, and typically, I mean, there is no deadline to file your first application, which includes the petition and whether you consular process. But if you're here in the United States and you're legally able to, continue the process here in the United States without ever leaving, then you file the 485 application. And then you get approved. Okay, let's say a year later. You might get lucky, you get it less than a year. You might even get luckier and have the interview waived. We actually just had the success where one of our cases got interview waived. Wonderful news. It took about a year. This client was out in Chicago. So it's even better news because Chicago has a huge backlog. Why am I sharing this success story? I'm going to share, of course, red flags about this topic today. But the thing is, I really believe, okay, maybe I'm biased. I really believe it's based on a proven checklist. Now, is it magical? Is it different than other lawyers? Maybe, maybe not. But we know our proven thing based on our experience. It's definitely more than you would see. I mean, not much more, but more detailed, more explanations that our team provides. That's not on the uscs.gov website. Look, if it was easy because it's on the website, then why do people get denied? Why do people get rejected? Riddle me that. You tell me. So, anyways, we are here to give you peace of mind, okay? But there's a lot of things that could go wrong in a case, unfortunately. And this topic is one of those common situations. Number one problem, I wouldn't say it's a top reason people get denied, but some people forget to file the second set of applications before the 2-year conditional resident status ends or expires. You really prefer not to wait after it expires to file that next application. Is it possible to file? Yes, definitely. You need to file it ASAP, even if it's expired already. But this before that, you need to know that you have a window period of 3 months, so 90 days before it expires. So let's say you just got your conditional resident status in January 1st, 2023, okay, this year, and it expires in 24-25, January 1st, 2025, then you can file 3 months before that for the next set of application. Now, you might ask, what happens if you don't file it at all? Then you lose your status. You don't have any more status. It expired. But what happens if the second thing that could happen, and I've seen this happen, if you don't file it, or even if you do file it, but you filed it untimely, so not within 90 days, your case might get referred to immigration court. Anytime a lawyer talks about immigration court, it's referring to the government trying to deport you, okay? I don't want to cause any fear. It doesn't necessarily, knock on wood, currently, ever since I've been an immigration lawyer, there's not someone or ICE officer at the court to literally physically remove someone, which is great, but you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. If there's any time to hire a lawyer, it should be when you have a court hearing, because the judge is not there to help you. The government lawyer is not there to help you, okay? A lot of people tend to think that they'll help you. No, that's not their job. So don't expect that. It's like when you call USCIS. Their job is not to help you. Yeah, they're customer service, but they're not a lawyer. I don't know how they get hired. Hey, if you work for USCIS and you have some tidbits, we would love to you share that with us, because I don't want to assume anything, but from my understanding, they're not there to help you, okay? So be careful of that. Oh, I just noticed my light is so bright on one side. What happens? I need to fix that. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, all right. Hopefully that's good. Not so crazy. Not so crazy looking there. Let's see. What else can I share with you? Yeah, drop some questions or comments in there, and happy to help to see if I can provide a solution. But if it's very detailed, of course, you might need to schedule an appointment with our team. One of the best ways to do that is go to greencardguys.com and click on take a quiz. Unfortunately, these social media platforms don't like it if we put the links on there. In fact, that might be why the algorithm's not spreading it so much. If you're like a social media expert, let me know. I get a lot of spam about that, but anyway, I'm always happy to learn more. Let's see. If you got any value, not just this video, but in the past, we greatly appreciate it. You can see here on YouTube and Facebook our link, reviewtinglaw.com. We appreciate it if you share some your experiences on there. And of course, if you actually are a client as well, that's helpful to others to know about our services. I have so much to share. What happens after I get my conditional resident status? That is the topic today, folks. And so I mentioned about the timing to file that next application. I mean, what am I doing this? You literally have to do it, file the next application. I meant to say remove conditions. Some people could think it's like probation. No, I mean, this government's not going to like check on you. They're not going to go to your home or where you live. or where you work, not in that sense. If that were to happen, that would be before you get the conditional resident status, okay? Pretty much like right before the actual interview. But they don't do that for everyone. Thank goodness. If they went to one of our homes, even if they went to our house, my house, they'd be like, "Are you guys married?" Yeah. So we do have tips on that because for like 2-3 years we didn't have photos anywhere. So hot tip, that is one thing they look at is photos. Seems like society thinks that you need to have photos up in your house. But if you're like us, my household, we were slow. So anyway, something to keep in mind. You might need to act like a realtor. They know how to put things up, get it going. Let's see here. The topic. Okay, sorry, I got a question from the team. What happens after I get my conditional resident status? So if you don't file it at all, or let's say I already mentioned that part actually. What if you did file it and like, yo, we're still married? It's like should be a piece of cake, right, John? No, not necessarily, unfortunately, because it depends what you provided in the package. And maybe let's say what happens if you get what they want to know in terms of the evidence. Let's say you are still married, whether you're married or not. Actually, if you end up getting separated or divorced, you still need to provide document we call bona fide marriage documents. Bona fide meaning like you're legit. It's not fake, and you need to provide pretty much like similar evidence as before, except this time they definitely expect it. Okay, like before in the past, like when your first case, maybe you didn't have that much transaction activity. In fact, maybe very low. We've still had cases approved, even though we tell clients, hey, you need to use that bank account, that joint one or a shared one, or a joint credit card. And, some people don't use it. But I really recommend you start focusing on that one account after you get your conditional resident card because they're going to scrutinize it more. I believe I just saw this in the attorney chat that USCIS, let me see if I can look it up. Oh my goodness. If this is true, the automatic extension, when it happened a couple years ago, it was 12 months and then expanded to 18 months. Oh, yep, I see something from a day ago. Holy smackerel. This is nuts. You guys are going to think this is crazy. Let me see if I can find where my YouTube thing went. So I can share on YouTube and Facebook here. I will definitely get to your questions. Thank you so much. Just want to share the meat of this information. Okay, so they extended it to before yesterday. It was 24 months. Before yesterday, it was 24 months. Like if you filed a 751 application, you'll get a receipt notice that said, you guys are good for now. We're going to do our thing and take our time, take a slow ass time to review your application. And it's so slow, it's going to be pretty much take as much time that's on the application. As of yesterday, before yesterday was 24 months. And I think that didn't last that long. Before that was 18 months, right? To yesterday, January 23rd, 2023, when you file this application, congratulations, your status extended for 48 months, 4 years. 4 years. So this can be misleading. You might think, oh, great. I'm good for 4 more years. Yes, it seems like that. But you shouldn't have to wait 4 years for your 751 application to get approved. It is ridiculous. It should not take that long. So people ask, well, John, what can I do? Can I file to become a U.S. citizen? Absolutely. Now, not like immediately, not when you get the receipt notice. If you're still married, you have the option after 3 years to apply to become a U.S. citizen. And some people are hesitant. Some people are like, well, I got that other application pending. Who cares? Force them to make a freaking decision because they have to approve your 751 application before they approve your citizenship. And in fact, when they receive your N400 application to become a citizen, they're not going to say, hold up. They're not going to do that. They're going to get the file for the 751, okay? And it might not be perfect. In some scenarios, we've been able to get approved in the same day. But either way, they're gonna get it going, okay? Somehow. They're trying to make it faster for you. But they're stupid. I hate to say it. The system is stupid. So we have to use the journey, the timeline. So we put, here's a hot tip, folks. You want to know how we do it? The old school way we did it was invite clients to a Google Calendar event on the calendar. When I tell my team to do something, tell myself to do something, the thing is put it on a calendar. Don't forget to do this. Okay. So if you don't hire a lawyer, that's cool. That's cool. You don't have to, but at least put it on your freaking calendar. Okay. You get the green card, put the deadline 1 year in 9 months. Am I doing my math right? 21 months. 21 months after you get the first conditional resident status, put it in your freaking calendar so you know to file the 751. Here, folks, I am trying to help y'all save immigration problems because these are things that I hear about all the time. We don't have those problems internally because we put it on a freaking calendar. We put it on our software system, our case management system, and also Google, okay? So to remind our clients, that's the first reminder. The second reminder is you can apply. If you're still married to the person that sponsored you, I wish you the best. I hope you guys are the right match, okay? For several years at least. And I know it's difficult. Sorry, I'm chuckling, but just try your best to find the right match. Because if you don't have the right match, you can have more long laundry list of problems when it comes to your green card case, okay? Marriage case. Do whatever you take. In all seriousness, aside from immigration, coming off the pandemic, I don't even know if it's over or not. Still thinking about taking more COVID shots. If you haven't taken the COVID shot, more power to you. You make your own decision. I know it's difficult, but it's difficult when it seems to be a difficult decision when it comes to health. But then when it comes to immigration, I'm sharing. You still need to talk to a lawyer. Okay, I'm sharing tips. I'm sharing common red flags. I'm sharing success stories. You do your thing. You want to do it yourself, go ahead. But at least I feel better that I share some tips with you, okay? Just to prevent those immigration problems, okay? I see a lot more comments in. I'll definitely get to that soon. I just get very excited about these kind of topics, as you can probably tell. If you're new to our channel, welcome. This is not a rant. I just get excited. But yeah, follow us. Hit subscribe if you don't mind down below on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, I think they call it follow. And if you appreciate this layout, I just cut to the chase, folks. I think there's some other immigration lawyers that kind of tiptoeing around, don't know what to share with you. Why? The point of all this is to share information, right? I see some folks on TikTok that do all these I don't know, just to get you to watch. We're not here to just get you to watch. We're here to solve your immigration problem and prevent it from happening in the first place, folks. This is, I don't want to try to make it scary or anything, but I mean, if something happens in your application, especially if you hire a notary or a notario, a consultant, there's so many consultants or paralegals that are not under the supervision of lawyers. And when I say lawyers, I mean licensed lawyers here in the United States, including Puerto Rico, but not a different country. Okay. Just because someone has experience with immigration, but they're not a licensed lawyer in the United States, and especially if you're going to pay money for that service, you might as well hire a licensed attorney in the United States. Okay. I really recommend that. Okay. Because if something happens, and again, it's not just filling out forms. Even some lawyers contest me and say, well, John, I deserve all the fees because I filled out the form with them. No, that's not it. That is so mind-boggling to me. If someone says, John, I don't like your team anymore, or I just want to go a different strategy and you don't provide that service, cool. We're going to give you the money back. Okay, of course, if it's been several months and we've started on the service, we're going to keep some of it, but for the most part, we're going to give you the money back. Okay. And some lawyers tell me, like, can I keep 90% of it? Because I already did the forms. Come on, y'all. Come on. That's just like, yo, just give the money back, because like we're here to help people. So if you're just keeping people's money and it's only been like 3 days or like 2 weeks, like just the other day, someone hired for a mandamus lawsuit because his mom's petition took about 3 years. It shouldn't take that long. Max, it should really take about 12 months. Okay. And really, I mean, it's just a bit like rubber stamping the government. But again, the government's stupid. Okay. We all know this, whether we're red or blue, we agree the government is stupid and slow. They don't have good systems in place, unfortunately. They're not a private company. I get it. This is like why USPS people don't like dealing with the post office. I mean, does anyone like going to post office? Let me know in the comments below if you don't like going to post office. I mean, I don't want it to go all privatized, then it could be more expensive, but it's not perfect, right? So it's kind of similar with that with USCIS. You know, we get complaint anyway. Trying to go not to go on tangents. I do this all the time. Today's topic is what happens after I get my conditional resident status. The last main takeaway I want to share with you: if you're still married, you can apply to become a U.S. citizen. Naturalized is what we call it. And it's 3 years. But calendar time, put it on your calendar, you can apply before the 3 years, as early as 3 months before the 3 years. So if I do my math, 2 years is 24 months, plus another 9 months, 31 months, 31. Shoot, that's not right math. 20. Who's got the math? 24. Where's my phone? 24 plus 9 months. Oh my gosh. I did not go to school for math. 24 plus 9. 33 months. Put it on your calendar for 33 months after you get your conditional resident status, and you can apply to become a citizen. Now, you might ask, well, John, what happens if I get separated? Well, then the 3-year rule on that, or the 33-month rule, is out the door. Okay? That doesn't apply anymore. So unfortunately, sorry, I was looking at some of the comments here. I'll get to them soon. Thank you so much for trusting me to answer your question. I will try my best in the YouTube or live format. Sometimes if it's too detailed for your situation, your question, then I really recommend you schedule a consultation. Look, again, we offer free 15 minutes. 15 minutes, folks, free. You might as well take advantage of it. But of course, if it's like, if you're going to ask about your criminal consequences, you're going to ask about EB-5, 800,000 investor, you could probably afford a paid consultation, I would suspect. So please be mindful of that. And we also want to make sure we answer all your questions in an appropriate time. 15 minutes is not going to cut it for something like that. So anyway, if you're considering that, we thank you for trusting us. It's our pleasure to point you in the right direction. But back to the topic, the last takeaway here about conditional resident status. If you're separated, you need to get divorced, and don't give yourself the excuse that, oh, I think we're gonna get back together. Look, I mean, you just got to move on, bro. Oh, sister, you got to move on, okay? Because your immigration status is on the line. So I hate to say it, but some people, when we used to help with divorces here in Texas, some people say, well, I think we're going to get back together. In Texas, at least, one person can get a divorce. It does not require two people. And the second thing to know in Texas for divorce, it does not require a reason. You could just say you don't get along. We call it incompatibility. You don't get along. I mean, during the pandemic, you can not get along almost every day, right? I get it. But that by itself is not a reason to get divorced. But my point is, in Texas, you can get divorced. So if you're in like a state in California, and look, I'm not saying that you should move if you have kids, because that make it more complicated. But pro tip, in Texas, if you file divorce today, the earliest you can get the divorce done is in 60 days. I was looking there because I'm looking at my calendar. 60 days, folks, 2 months. So don't give me the excuse. And of course, you have to live in Texas before you file the lawsuit here for divorce. But don't give me the excuse that, oh, I got put in removal proceedings because I didn't know when to file for divorce, or I thought we were going to get back together. Look, folks, your immigration status is on the line. You need to take action. If you need a lawyer to help you take action, talk to one, okay? But don't sit and just scroll your social media all day. Your immigration status is on the line. Take action, okay? Let me get to some questions, okay? I got a little excited there, so I spoke for 25 minutes and I didn't answer a question. Okay. All right. Well, if y'all enjoyed that information, even if it was not relevant to you, smash the hearts and like buttons. I greatly appreciate it. Mr. Tajul on YouTube. Okay, I got a lot of questions on YouTube. Mr. John, if I have a legal entry, my wife, U.S. citizen, you have a hardship waiver. Question is, can I move towards EB5? That's probably going to be a more difficult transition because the whole thing, I think you're probably asking this to Joel Pardon, if that's how I pronounce your last name, I'm sorry, is that I'm assuming you're asking because you want to be in the U.S. to stay here. EB5 does not solve that problem for you. It's just another pathway, just like applying through your U.S. citizen wife. So if you already have a case through your U.S. citizen spouse, just go for that. Okay, that's really the best scenario, not EB5. EB5, you got to pay $800,000. Would you rather, look at this, would you rather pay a lawyer $800,000 if you're not going to get a green card in less time? Let me know if you're willing to pay it. But $800,000 for EB5 is just the first set of investment. If you $800,000 if you go through like a regional center, not like your own business to invest. Regional centers typically charge like a membership fee, like a subscription fee, like I don't know, 30,000 average. So it's not just 800,000. So hey, Tajul, I'm just messing with you. But if you're willing to pay 800,000 minimum, hey, we don't charge them out, but I'd be happy to talk with you if I can solve your immigration problem, help you get status sooner. Maybe about 2 years. Okay. You might need to sprinkle in a couple lawsuits in there because USCIS takes a long time. Let's see here. Let's see here. So yeah, just think about that, folks. I don't know why some of y'all thinking about like EB5, but EB5 is actually, it takes a hell of a long time. Congress finally got their shit together. Sorry for my French, but it's still not the best option for you folks. Okay, but Tajul, seriously, you have a hardship waiver. You said you have one. I don't know if that means you filed it. Let me know in the comments below. Let's see if you did comment. No, I don't see anything yet, but and maybe you're wondering about, maybe you're asking that because hardship waiver, you don't know if you include the sufficient evidence. Maybe you don't know if you have the sufficient information to demonstrate that you could get your waiver application approved. And hopefully it sounds like you're in the US, right? So you've applied a 601A form. So check that in your records to make sure you filed that. This is very in-depth. This kind of give you an idea how we do it in a consultation. We really like to go in depth. We just hit the road running in the 15 minutes. We want to get in there, help you share the information you need to know. And sometimes in these like live shows, I can pretty much do that for you. Because I like to go in a little more detail because you guys really need more information. There's just so much to share. Okay. But don't try to make it more complicated, folks. If you're eligible for to apply for a waiver, you need a U.S. citizen spouse or resident or a parent who's a U.S. citizen or resident. That actually reminds me. Tajul, hopefully I answer your question. You might have more questions. Please book take a quiz for free 15 minutes. We'll see if you can just, even if it's not pointing in the right direction, but just like confirm. Sometimes just confirming your legal strategy that you've already taken action on, and that's cool. We don't mind. Because let's say you've taken action, you filed something, you're like, oh shit, it's been 2 years and I don't even know what I did. It happens. Some people come to us and said they filed a fiancé visa application petition or the I-130 or I-1, whatever form you filed it in, like it got denied, it got rejected. But even before it got denied or denied, it took 2 years. It shouldn't take that long. So sometimes, and that's the purpose of a consultation. Look, some people are like, do I really need to talk to a lawyer? Yeah, you do. Even if you do it yourself. Hey, I tell my team, no hard feelings. We actually proactively would like you to talk with us for free. It's kind of weird. Some people say, do I need to pay a consult? No, not here at Team Law Group. We charge $0 for a free 15 minutes. Now, is it guaranteed for you? No. Our CARES team still needs to review their information you provide, because it might be something you're asking or requesting service on, like let's say asylum. We don't do that. So I'm going to tell you up front. Do we review criminal consequences? No, we don't. Sorry, because we don't have lawyers in all 50 states of America. In it, to be honest, like it takes a lot of work to provide you the sufficient analysis. I used to do that. That's part of me, honestly, in my heart. I'm like, that's where I think I can provide most value to people, but it just takes too much time, folks. So the free 15 minutes, it can be like you have a couple questions. No, not 10 questions, because that can't be covered in 15 minutes. It's not literally possible, logistically possible. If you have a couple questions, point you in the right direction, or you want to confirm your legal strategy. Now, look, if you're saying, well, John, what about, forget all that. I get that. You're like, well, can I hire you? Yes, that's possible. But we do charge a set amount of fees. People ask for discounts. I get that. But we proactively made it easier for y'all. We have 3 plans: Light, Pro, Max. We make it very easy for you. Okay. So the Light plan is basically like a discount because you get less services. Now, there's no way that we can provide a discount at full service. Like you can't get white glove concierge service for a reduced rate. That's just not how we work. If you do that to me, then I have to fire someone, to be honest. Like I don't want to fire anyone. I think I have a really great team. If you are a client and you're on the show joining, let me know. Let me know in the comments how you like our service. Pretty sure you don't want me to fire anyone on the team. So we are not like any other law firm, as you can tell probably. We really want to get to the point. So on that note, I will go to the next question. Hello, my people. Good evening. How are you doing? Good to see you, sir. Let me know how you're doing. Christina, I don't know if I can answer that question. What will happen to my green card if I grow cannabis? I would probably not deal with that. If you do grow cannabis, it should be legal in your state. You need to have a permit. I just would avoid having anything related to your name on it or not on your property, at least until you become a U.S. citizen. So I see your next comment. You were off subject. It's all good. I know it's a good business venture. I heard about it. Let's see. Marlon, good to see you. Blessings to you. Ivan, I think you asked like a hypothetical. If you were in Congress, why not just create a law which allow undocumented immigrant get amnesty if he pay her, for example, $10,000, 11 million people times 10,000. That's a shit ton of money for America. Yeah, that could probably solve a little bit of our debt. Yeah, probably. But Ivan, I wish it was that simple, buddy. It's not. It's definitely not. It's all about the votes. It's all about the votes. It's not always about, well, money-wise, it's not about money to the government. It's about money. Oh, I really hate to say this, but I think you can tell. I think you can look at all the data. It's about money in the pockets of politicians. It's called lobbyists. It's called finance campaign reports. It's all online. You can look it up. Okay, you can see who donates to who, and it's all available. Okay. It's frustrating. Yeah, I thought about that too, Ivan. I thought that that's possible, but it's too simple. It's too simple a plan. Politicians, red or blue, want to make it difficult. It's talking points before Twitter, before TikTok, before all this social media. It's an old school media, and they couldn't control the media. So they use all these different platforms. To be honest, just like me, I use this platform to share tips, to point you in the right direction. But for most politicians, don't get me wrong. There's some really good politicians. They want to do good, but for a good amount of them, I think you know which ones try to take advantage and change a story. Red or blue. It's not just one party. Red or blue. If you appreciate what I'm sharing, smash the hearts. I greatly appreciate it. But if it was that simple, Ivan, why didn't Congress do it the last 30 years? Why is it taking so long? Did it have to hit 20 million and then they start doing something? It's frustrating. Sorry, off my rant now. Ivan, you get me worked up, buddy. All right, next one. Marlon. John, doesn't matter if USCIS sends the hard copy mail if they tell me the receipt number over the phone. They told you over the phone? I'm impressed. I told you over the phone. Did you call into the USCIS hotline? Which takes a long time to get through. More power to you if you waited on the line. If they sent it to you, I think you filed it online, if I recall, because you've been joining us live. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, you did. Did you receive it? I don't. If you're wondering, do you have to receive the receipt notice? I wouldn't say you do, but it'll be helpful. So I think you told me this before, like you didn't receive the hard copy and maybe you didn't receive it like on the online system. I think you did file online if I recall. But when you file online, at least with a petition and an N400, you should get the receipt notice instantaneously. So maybe there was a glitch. But buddy, Marlon, you got to go to usciswebsite.gov, go to tools and resources. Okay. Oh, you didn't. Okay. Well, even if I see your next comment. Even though you did file a hard copy, that's fine too. Then you need to go to tools and resources. Let me see. Let me show my screen on. Okay, I'm at the uscis.gov website. Go to tools. Scroll down, tools and resources. So the takeaway today is, folks, if you want to confirm your legal strategy, whether you want to hire a lawyer or not, you still need to speak with a lawyer. Okay, don't waste time. Don't look. A lawyer's not going to tell you the 1, 2, 3 how to file, because I think you can understand it rubs people the wrong way. But if you want to confirm your legal strategy, I'm happy to do it. I mean, my premier attorneys will do it for you. If you want time with me specifically, I say unfortunately, because I hate to charge this, but you do have to pay a consult fee with me. My team, my business leadership controls that part. I told them, no, don't charge them. But they said for me, they have to do that. So I'm sorry to charge. But if you want me specifically to verify something, you're welcome to do it. But you got to pay $199. Okay. Let me see. Where was I going to go? Okay. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. Okay. You're on the tools and resources, scroll down to e-request. And Marlon, maybe you did this. Oh, crap. Maybe that's why you called in instead. Because online right here, I see that, you know what? I think I tried this the other day and it showed this screen. It says 502 bad gateway. It's like a dud. So I'll just try it later in the day. But anyway, when you click on e-request, there's an option. I'll try it again. No, it didn't work. That is totally weird. But anyway, you click on that. There's an option of what you need, basically. I think this doesn't cover everything, but I think it says like you lost your receipt notice or was, not delivered. Click on that, provide your correct address, and hopefully they'll give you a paper copy. Do you need a paper copy? No, but I think it would give you the peace of mind to make sure. So what I would do, Marlon, maybe you did this already, but that receipt number that you got over the phone, again, I'm surprised they gave it to you over the phone because they typically need the receipt notice to give you information. So anyway, you have to go to the case status. Okay, let me put it on YouTube again. Case status right here. Okay, and then scroll down and put in your receipt notice. So how do you know it's yours? It's not going to have your name on this after you click on check status, but it'll say like, received on such a or on such and such date. We received it, or it's in that date will probably give you a good indication if that was around the same time you filed your application, right? So today's topic is, I think that's all the questions. I see one on Instagram, Isabel. Thank you. What's up? What's up? Nice to see y'all. You filed the Isabel. You said you filed the 131 with your initial documents. I'm assuming with your green card package. Would you get a response before the date I put on the form? For example, they asked when is expected time to travel. Don't worry about that. I know it's a cause of concern for most people. For us internally, we usually try to put the date like 4 months from the day we file it, anticipate the file. But the government fortunately doesn't care. And from what I understand, internally, I don't believe, I mean, none of my clients who have gone abroad and come back, fortunately, with no issues, no one's told me that a customs officer checks it and says, but in their system shows you're supposed to travel March 1st. Why are you here on March 2nd? Or March 5th, you know what I mean? But so that's a good question that, honestly concerned me when I was in my first year when I was starting, but through experience through experience is why you talk to a lawyer about this kind of stuff. So you're not freaking out. So that's good. So yeah, you can still travel when you get approved. It's all good. I'll agree with you on that. I think in other scenarios, then it needs to be more specific, but hopefully I answered your question. If you appreciate that answer, please smash the like button and share our video. We greatly appreciate it. I do see other questions. Wasim Dalal. I think I recognize your name from like a couple years ago too. Thank you for coming back to our channel. Can an adopted child sponsor his biological parents once she turns 21? The answer is a resounding no. I'm sorry. You can't get adopted by a U.S. citizen and then turn around and adopt, and then you get status and then turn around and adopt your biological parents. That is where conservatives actually need to know that. So actually, we don't have family, what do you call that? Chain migration. I like to call it family tree, but conservatives like to call it chain migration. It cuts off at the time of adoption, right? Because if you get adopted, once you get adopted, by the way, hot tip here, because we have clients like this, that does not mean automatic status. You still have to apply to immigration, to USCIS for your status. Okay. It's not automatic because the state level, or even if you do the adoption abroad, that's done by a non-immigration agency. So keep that in mind. A lot of people get like flustered or the adopted parents and they forget. Understandable. So if you're an adopted parent, that's a hot tip for you. Or if you're the adopted child, you need to know that too. And by the way, adoption, because it's just fresh on my mind, adoption must happen before 16 years old. 16 years old. Okay. So I really recommend you get the order from whatever agency or court before 16. Like, don't wait until like 15 years and like 10 months. Like, don't wait that long. Okay. And then after that, you got to apply for the immigration benefit through USCIS. Do not wait, because on the second part with the immigration benefit to become a U.S. citizen, if the child reaches 21 years old, so of course adult already, that's it. You can't become a U.S. citizen. So it's very gut-wrenching for a lot of people. In the last bit of reform related to this in 2001, Child Citizenship Act, unfortunately, the intent was to cover those people, but it didn't cover everyone. So some people are still left behind in that sense. So if I were working in Congress and I could sway everyone, if I was the whip, I whip them around and tell them Ivan's idea to get them money for the American government. Let's see here. Is it important for a beneficiary to have a travel experience for I-129 petition? I believe AB Samuel, ABP Samuel, you're talking about. Well, if you've met in the last 2 years, which I believe you did, then that's fine. at least at the time of you filing the application. Okay, the last 2 years within filing the application. You don't need to have like continuous travel or another trip. It's not required. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, folks, let's see. Yeah, I think that answers a lot of questions. You might have some tomorrow or like the next day. I'm here Monday through Friday, unless I'm hit by a bus, knock on wood, or I have bad internet connection, or I got to go into a meeting. So, anyways, we do offer free 15 minutes. It'll be our pleasure to assist you to solve your immigration or even prevent it from happening in the first place. Please go to greencardguys.com to take a quiz, and we look forward to serving you. Take care now. Bye bye.